While I was happy to get the Soloshot back and get it in service, I did find out that it retained one of its most frustrating capabilities. It seems to know when you're going to screw up, so we got that out of the way early. One of the smarter things I did this day was to bring my Flex Innovations Cap 232 along just in case. I drove it around in the field a little bit just to get the Soloshot familiar with what we're doing here. It's always seemed that after a little bit of flying, the tracking seems to get a lot more precise. They want you to walk around with the tag a little bit to help dial this in, but if you do it at a flying field, you can get hurt or yelled at. And this was the first flight with the new Soloshot 3 in this cap, and it seemed to do pretty good. The Soloshot seems to have the most tracking problems when you do a change of direction right in front of it. On this pass, I keep the speed down and go well beyond the Soloshot to make the turn, and the tracking seems to be right on. And it stayed with it even though I did change directions pretty quickly here. One of the things the Soloshots always had a problem with was pure vertical. It seems to not know when the plane stops going vertical. There is a setting for how long the Soloshot will continue on that tracking line after it loses signal, but I don't think it's losing signal here. I will try tweaking that setting in the future and see if that does help at all. Here the plane is going pretty slow doing an elevator, and it's well left of the Soloshot, and it just hangs on to the tracking great. And when you keep the distances and speed reasonable, the zoom seems to work very well also. I have some kind of personality disorder that forces me to do snap rolls on takeoff. This time I did it a little farther to the right, and it almost hung onto it all the way. One of the things the Soloshot has always done pretty well is catch landings in these approaches. The tracking and zoom seem to stay spot on. And I let it go a little farther to the right before I did the snap roll, and it stayed right with it. This is another flight with the cap, and I had pretty much forgotten about the Soloshot and was just goofing off. I seem to get more usable footage when I forget about the Soloshot and just fly around. I've always liked doing a bunch of touch and goes since it lets me explore different approaches to whatever field I'm flying at. And it means I get to do another snap roll. I've probably crashed as much as anybody, but I've never crashed doing this. I have to thank the folks at Soloshot for being gentle when they let me know that I had a bad SD card and wasn't something wrong with the unit. And I can't blame any of that on anybody but me. I've got some new SD cards, and now the Soloshot can continue catching me when I screw up. I'm afraid they don't have any settings to stop it from catching that kind of stuff.